Christmas celebrations are back on, across Europe. As the second lockdowns are coming to an end, European countries are switching to local measures and easing of restrictions. With hope on the horizon, brought on by a number of coronavirus vaccines, and limited reductions in infections, following the second round of lockdowns, governments around Europe are lifting lockdowns, in time to celebrate Christmas. But where can you travel to? And what can you do? In this video we discuss the lockdowns lifted for Christmas across Europe. But first, we want to thank you for joining us. Find us on all the other social media channels, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and click that bell, to get notified when we release a new video. We also appreciate your likes and comments below, as it helps to support our channel. The UK, France, Germany, and Spain are set to ease restrictions. As the resurgence of COVID-19 continues to ravage Europe, several countries have announced a second wave of partial and national lockdowns. The subsequent announcement by several pharmaceutical companies that vaccines will be available soon gave hope that there is an end to the pandemic before the year is out. We all worry about the upcoming holidays, and it seems that the essence of the second wave of lockdowns in European countries was a bid to salvage some semblance of normalcy in time for Christmas. Several countries have announced that restrictions will be lifted, or a few concessions will be afforded so people can at least celebrate Christmas safely. The 12 days of Christmas is now down to 5, as the UK's 4 nations unite to lift travel restrictions to allow people to visit their families anywhere in the UK. The UK government, with ministers in Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, have agreed that 3 households can meet from the 23rd of December until the 27th of December and form a temporary Christmas bubble. The loosening of restrictions will not be extended for the New Year's Eve celebrations. Additionally, to allow travel between the nations, Northern Ireland has been granted a longer window of loosening restrictions, from the 22nd to the 28th of December. There will be no limit to the number of people in a household joining a bubble. Bubbles will be allowed to meet each other in each other's homes, at a place of worship, in an outdoor public space or garden. The bubbles will be fixed. Households in your Christmas bubble can't bubble with anyone else. If someone tests positive or develops coronavirus symptoms, up to 48 hours after the Christmas bubble last met, everyone will have to self-isolate. The imposed second lockdown restrictions have finally shown results, with a decreasing infection rate. President Emmanuel Macron announced that lockdown rules will be eased incrementally. The peak of the second wave of the epidemic has passed. The spirit of civic responsibility that you showed was effective, and we learnt to better treat patients, President Emmanuel Macron stated. Starting on the 28th of November, the basic current lockdown will remain in place, with working from home encouraged and outings limited, but small businesses will be allowed to reopen, places of worship permitted to hold services for up to 30 people at a time, and the perimeter for daily outings widened from 1 kilometer to 20 kilometers. After the 15th of December, provided daily new COVID-19 cases remain at around 5,000, and the daily number of new cases in ICU stays between 3,000 and 2,500, the lockdown will be lifted, but a curfew will be in place between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m., except on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Travel will be permitted to allow people to spend Christmas with family, and museums, cinemas, and theaters will be allowed to reopen. Restaurants, bars, and gyms will be the last to reopen on the 20th of January, if the epidemic remains contained and doesn't surge after the holidays. But I call upon your sense of responsibility. This will certainly not be a Christmas like the others. We must do everything to avoid a third lockdown, President Emmanuel Macron reiterated. The the German state premiers have agreed on new coronavirus lockdown measures for December and probably January. They also include a mini-amnesty over the Christmas period from December 23rd to January 1st, according to a draft proposal circulated on Tuesday. From the 1st of December, 2 households and a maximum of 5 people will be able to meet. Children aged under 14 are not included in this limit. But there could be a temporary easing of the rule, with up to 10 people able to meet between the 23rd of December and the 1st of January. The limit of 2 households may also be increased. As for New Year, fireworks displays have been cancelled, while letting them off in the street is likely to be discouraged. The Spanish government is planning a different festive period with a limit of 6 people allowed at parties, reports say. It is set to recommend that social gatherings, in the run-up to Christmas, be held on restaurant terraces or other outdoor locations. Spain's Prime Minister, Pedro Sánchez, said on Wednesday that his government was considering limiting Christmas celebrations to 6 people in an effort to curb the spread of the coronavirus. "This is not a number we have pulled out of nowhere," Sánchez stated in a news conference. "It is a number that health professionals and scientists have told us is sufficiently rigorous and restrictive to prevent another surge in infections," he said. The restrictions will be negotiated with regional authorities, meaning some changes could still be introduced. Italy is going through the highest number of deaths since the end of March, and Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte has stated that Italians should expect a more sober Christmas, without Christmas Eve gatherings, hugs, and kisses. Currently, Italy has partial lockdowns in regions based on a traffic light system, and travel between regions are restricted. The red zones are areas with the most infections. In these zones, all bars, restaurants, and most shops, including hairdressers and beauticians, remain closed. Factories and essential services, including pharmacies and supermarkets, have remained open. In orange zones, restaurants and bars have closed, but hairdressers and beauty salons are open. In yellow zones, restaurants and bars can stay open until 6 p.m., but museums, theaters, cinemas, gyms, and swimming pools are closed, as in the rest of the country. Italy has a nationwide curfew, from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Gatherings for weddings, baptisms, and funerals are banned. Additionally, older school pupils have switched to remote learning, and masks must be worn everywhere, except at home. These measures will remain in place until the 3rd of December, but there are reports that an emergency decree may see the rules relaxed after this date. The details of the decree are still being discussed. But it is thought that there will not be an official limit on social gatherings, but the government has recommended people to plan to be as few as possible. It has already been confirmed that Christmas markets have been banned. Churches are free to remain open, but the nationwide curfew may mean that the traditional midnight mass is unlikely to happen. "We think we need to introduce greater precautions to prevent a surge in infections," Mr. Conte said. With the easing of restrictions and guidelines set out by each country, hopefully, Christmas can be celebrated safely and not cause another surge of infections. What are your plans for Christmas? Comment below. If you need assistance with a visa to Europe or the UK, including help with securing your travel arrangements, IAM can help. For visa advice, contact your IAM visa coordinator. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for more travel and visa updates.